I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by my co-host with Harrison Bader like hair,
Yeah, it's a weird ordeal. Katie is just proving to be childish.
which is why I don't feel I would give $5 million to Jack Campbell.
I don't know. Baseball is one of those sports where anyone who makes the playoffs really can be a contender.
I think the Padres definitely do it.
I don't think Donovan Mitchell gets traded.
Kyrie Irving does have the track record of not being a great locker room fit, or even good locker room fit.
Bader got some luscious locks. I gotta say it.
This is Zach Bigley, the broadcaster for the Frisco Rough Riders, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin. You guys better subscribe.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. I'm Kevin, and I'm joined by the head coach of planning and scheduling for Outsiders Opinions, Austin.
That is my job, Kevin. You do a lot more, though.
Oh, well, no. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just love the names sometimes with assistant coaches or like managers. And once I got back to making your list, I was like, I want to fit that in there somehow.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, we did the similar to the NHL. This is the NBA head coaches, and there are only 5 head coaches. Hired one was an interim, Joe Mazzulla, but pretty good head coaches. There's more of a disparity, I think, in this one. But yeah, we're ranking based on the expectations, and then we'll talk about the coach's season, of course, as we did. And Austin, I'm curious who you have at the bottom.
I have Steve Clifford. I like Steve Clifford, but they were so bad this year, and not that people didn't expect them to be bad necessarily, but also they didn't do anything for me to put them any higher or put him any higher. I didn't see great development out of the players besides maybe Nick Richards and some other guys
Dennis
on the
Smith had
team.
a kind of resurgent year with them.
Yeah, but I don't necessarily. I think that was just because Lamelo missed so many games.
Gotcha.
I only really saw growth or true growth out of Nick Richards and Mark Williams, who are both relatively young, 25, and Mark Williams is 21. Dennis Smith, I guess, is also 25, but again, I think it's more
Wow, he's only
injuries was the reason why
25.
he played.
Wow.
Say again?
He's only 25. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah, so yeah, I agree. Steve Clifford really not a good season compared to the other guys. But yeah, I thought he'd do a little bit better. But yeah, compared to the other coaches on this team, I think that's pretty rough. I'll just go into my next guy's Darvin Ham.
I agree. Even though he
Okay.
got him to the Western Conference Finals, I don't think neither of the teams that the Lakers went through I was thoroughly impressed with this season. Especially once Ja had his entire fiasco, I wasn't really truly enthralled with their matchups. And this is always going to be a conversation: is how much of it is coaching and how much of it is LeBron. And obviously, they had AD and during that playoff run. So look, I like Darvin Ham. He was a great player when he played, NBA champion when he played, but I need to see more. I don't think he necessarily made this team better than they were on paper.
I think he did well handling the Russell Westbrook situation, but once that kind of got figured out,
But Russ played better in LA
that's true. That's a good point.
or in not LA. In LA, but with the Clippers. I should have made that a little bit easier to understand.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how good of a coach he is based on his roster. I think some part is managing personalities. But just compared to the other teams and their expectations, I didn't think he really. It was great for him to get to the Western Conference Finals, but with that roster, I thought it was pretty nice. And like you explained, I just really like the 3 guys above him more.
I do as well.
So I'll let you go first. Who's your third?
This was tough. I had to go Will Hardy.
Okay.
I understand having Missoula here. I understand it, but I would go Hardy. Hardy did a great job developing the players on this team. I really enjoyed watching Ochai uh, come into his own at the end of the year. Obviously, Walker Kessler, who was a first team all rookie member. Then you have Lauri Markkanen, all star. This team was just well built, well coached, and well managed. They only had 6 less wins than the Lakers, and they had no notable names coming into the year. People thought that they were going to be easily the worst team in the West, and they were not. They were only 3 games out of a play-in spot.
Yeah, I thought they were tanking for Wemby, and I'm sure they will. They were, but they also got a pretty nice cast. And yeah, I thought about putting Missoula here, but I went with Will Hardy. Much better than expected. Um, but compared to the other two, I think they deserved a little bit more. But really, this is time to me where I'm like, okay, he's a good coach, did something new, brought a new voice to the locker room, and it was a lot of new teammates. But yeah, with the rookies you were talking about, Walker Kessler especially, how many minutes he played, and he was close to Defensive Player of the Year. Was he a Defensive Player of the Year candidate, or
He definitely wasn't in the top 3. He didn't even make an all-defensive team.
Oh wow, okay, huh?
He
I just
did
thought
get some votes, but he never
Okay.
made. Let me see.
I don't know where I heard that.
How
Or maybe
close
that's
was
me
he to
making
making a team? Not close at all. He got
Wow,
1 vote.
because I thought he was a pretty good rim protector. That's why I've heard about Kessler.
Oh, he is. He is.
But I guess yeah, with the votes. Yeah, but overall, I think that's the development because I remember coming in out of the draft, people were not high on Walker Kessler. He was kind of a throw in, and then he kind of became this really nice piece from that trade. But yeah, I'm very intrigued in second year for Will Hardy with the Jazz. But now I think we can move to 2 where I have Joe Mazzulla. It was a difficult situation. It was awkward. But this team had just been to the finals. But I thought he brought in a different type, and they still got very similar results. They're really, yeah, they kind of dug themselves into a hole in the Eastern Conference Finals. But I'm glad he got extended, and we'll have to see how he does next year.
Yeah, I completely agree. Mazzulla was very impressive. I think Boston got a steal, even though they lost Ime Udoka, who I also think is a great head coach. Uh, I loved when they signed him on for the future, and I think it's the right move. I think he'll grow as a head coach as he kind of matures into the job. He did not expect to be in this situation, but he is, and he took full advantage of it.
Yeah, we'll have to see. And then number 1 to me, this one was like, once I saw the name, I was like, oh yeah, he was a rookie head coach, and that's Mike Brown, who filled in. He wasn't the first choice for the Kings. It was Kenny Atkinson, wasn't it, from the Warriors?
Yes.
And then Mike Brown's also from the Warriors, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So Mike Brown comes in. I really liked what he did with the Kings, and they finally made it to the playoffs. So I think exceeding the expectations from the Kings, and I think we saw some young players. We saw a lot more of Davion Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox got Clutch Player of the Year. It seemed like Sabonis and that trade worked out for them, which I think was a big part of them hiring a new coach because they needed Sabonis and Fox to work, and it did this season.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point to make. What Mike Brown did was very, very impressive. And even though technically speaking, he wasn't a rookie head coach, he was a new head coach. He's always been a winner everywhere he's gone. And with Cleveland, and then that 1 year in LA, and then or basically 1 year in LA, and then obviously now with the Kings, he's continued to make the playoffs everywhere he's gone. And I expect a lot of growth from this very young Kings team.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it turns out. I'm very excited. It's a big season for the Kings. We'll have to see, but we'll talk about that more in the future. That's all we got. Thank you for listening. Make sure to check out our socials. We post videos We've been on a nice daily streak. Don't want to jinx it by saying daily, but you can expect an episode usually around every day. Let us know what you think. You can check out Twitter. We're on Spotify, basically wherever you get your podcasts. That's all we got. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.